What's going on, everyone? So this video was actually done. It was ready to go. This is an add-on. So this is a couple days later from when the video was actually filmed. I got a package today from someone that I've met since I started this whole YouTube thing. And his name is Mike Slowby. He is a genuinely nice guy. He has another YouTube channel. That's kind of how we connected through the Mud Brats podcast. And what a great guy. So I got a package today and check out what he sent me. So I got a nice Wrangler shirt here, pocket, long sleeve shirt with his logo on it. And then I also got a bandana with his logo on it. On top of those two things, I have a new sticker for my refrigerator. As you guys know, I am not collecting stickers, but anyone that wants to be on this that has their own brand or anything like that, send them out to me. That's awesome. So Slowby jumped on top of that. And this just goes to like jump on. I talked about this earlier in when I started the channel. Snowmobiling brings so many people together, and it's such an awesome sport, and everyone, for the most part, has each other's backs. And we all have a good time, and it's fantastic. And it's unfortunate that I'm from New Jersey and not a ton of people snowmobile. So like I try and bring as many people from New Jersey into the sport as I can. But meeting people like Mike just reiterates that entire fact that like it's such an awesome sport. Everyone's in it to have a good time. Everyone's in it to take care of one another and support one another. So big shout out to him. I'm gonna put his channel up there. You know, make sure to like and subscribe to his stuff. And he's almost at that 1,000 subscriber mark, so that'd be awesome if we could help him get there. So again, thank you, Mike. I appreciate it. And now we're on to the next video. What's going on, guys, and welcome back. We are back in the shop, as you guys can see. Tonight we're going to be doing some mid-season maintenance on Bruno. So a lot of people have different outlooks and stuff on what needs to be done mid-season maintenance. I am just kind of going to kind of bounce around and do kind of what I think I personally need to do. So I have done a couple things already. One is I've already changed carbides because that beginning of the season up on Tug Hill was a little rough. There were some big rocks and stuff and took big chunks out of it. And so I have new carbides on it already. Slides or Hyfax, whatever people want to call it. I already have new ones of those because I had to put new rails on it, and the Ice Age rails were different than what the factory ones were. So today, I am going to be checking a couple other things out. I'm going to take the exhaust out, and I'm going to check the belt tension. I'm not going to change the oil because I know what that looks like. I'm going to check track tension, which I did that, so I probably really don't even need to do that. So I'm just going to kind of bounce around. I'm going to nut and bolt a lot of things, especially in the rear suspension, because all of that was all switched out. Unfortunately, what did not hold was my paint job on my rails, which I knew it wasn't going to hold great, but I thought it was going to hold a little bit better than that. But as you guys can see, my rattle can special did not hold. But the rails themselves look like they're holding up just as I needed them to or wanted them to. Another thing I'm going to do, I'm also going to pull the clutch off. Clutch is off. I don't think I'm going to pull the primary part. I'm just going to blow that out, clean the faces of the clutches, and then I'm going to pull the secondary part. I just want to make sure everything's rolling correctly in there and nothing's getting hung up. And honestly, you know, just kind of go through it, you know, visually inspect a lot of things. I'm going to just clean. So that's my big thing. So as you guys know, I'm like pretty OCD with some stuff, especially cleanliness. So my sleds are no different. So before this thing came in here, and if you follow me on Instagram or Facebook, which if you don't, you should, this thing got a bath head to toe before it even came in this garage. I'm a big believer in Simple Green. I've used Simple Green for many of years. So it got a big Simple Green bath and actual car soap bath before it even got in here. So everything is pretty clean, but I'm gonna pull, like I said, the exhaust out so I could clean more in there and check that chain tension, which should have been done already. I've been lazy and I've been just going up and riding. So that should have been done already. I have 560 miles, so that definitely should have been done. I'm gonna pull the clutches off, make sure all that under there is clean. Other than that, I got it pretty decent when I cleaned it, you know, before it came in here. So I'm gonna go ahead, yank these clutches off. If you guys have been following along, you guys know how to do this. I've gone through it, but if you guys have not been following along, I already took the belt off, as you guys can see. To get this secondary clutch off, it's just this 15mm bolt. Watch the shims behind it. There's a bunch of different shims and stuff like that that need to go back the correct way. This, you have to take out your main bolt, and then you have a clutch puller. Well, I have a clutch puller. You could do the water trick that everyone says. I've never actually done that, but I've seen that it works. So we're gonna pull that all off and just make sure, you know, again, visually inspect everything and make sure she's ready to go. This weekend, I'm actually not going back to Tug Hill. I will be in Lake George. It's my father's birthday, and he wanted us, you know, the whole fam jam and the whole crew to go ride with him in Lake George. So that is where we're heading this weekend, which is why the sled is home. Normally it stays up there for the most part all the time. And that's it. So like I said, I'm gonna pull this exhaust, pull the clutches, and then we will get back here in a little bit. All right, guys, so we are kind of zooming away. So I got the secondary all apart. I have one sheave in one hand, one in the other. So if you guys do pull these apart again, so they're balanced from factory. So you have that X mark there, and then you have to mark it on the front. So I marked with a black Sharpie, just so when you put them all back together, they go the same way. But pretty much this is how they look when they come apart. I don't even think I went into this when I had the, when I did my clutch install video. So when you go, let me put this down. When you go and adjust your belt deflection with that little, that's the what word am I looking for? Adjuster that you're adjusting. And it pushes on this brass ring that sits in between the sheaves. So then this one goes like this and sits right in there like that. And they twist with each other and so on and so forth. But that is what they look like apart. So again, I'm just taking this all apart. A big thing with these is blowing them out. Get all of that brake dust and everything else out of those clutches, out of these slides, out of everything. So my crew chief is not very thrilled. He was talking a lot late, you know, before, but not so much now, and I am disgusting. Right, Bubbas? Huh? So we're gonna keep cleaning this and go through that, throw that back together. We inspected the helix. The helix is all clean. Everything, the rollers are good. So moving along. So next up on the list that we have is chain tension. So I think you could get to it with the muffler still in, but it's way easier when you have it out. So you have it right here. And again, I went over this in an earlier video, but we're gonna go over it now. Also, I'm looking, this brake has gotten toasty. And you guys know how hard I am on the brakes, you know, coming to the corner, stuff like that. So this thing has gotten toasty. There we go. So I believe this is a 15. Hold on. Where did my 15 go? Thought I got it out. Oh yeah. So you just want to loosen your jam nut. And then this is hand tight and then a quarter out. So here's the issue. So this, you guys can see that? I don't know if it'll focus. So the washer has a rubber O-ring on it. And if you don't move that out of the way, you'll get a false reading when you go to do it. So you gotta make sure that that's out of the way. So what you have to do a lot of times is loosen that jam nut way up. Come on. There we go. All right. So now you see that washer's way back there. And then you could go head, and it's, sorry, it's hard to get at the right angle. So it's hand tight, literally hand tight, like, and then a quarter turn off. That's a little far. All right, we're gonna go with that. I know guys are gonna be like, well, it's not perfect. Well, this is what it is. Then you gotta push that washer back on there all the way. Spin your jam nut back up. I want to tighten that bad boy. Tighten that back up. That shouldn't spin. Sometimes it does. Sometimes you have to hold it. But that's chain tension. So that thing's all done. How are we on brake pads? Brake pads are even, it looks like. Brake pads are good. So just gonna keep cleaning a little bit. So clutches are done. I cleaned the secondary. I got a mess going on here and I gotta leave. It's 8:08. Told Corey I'd be home at 8:30. So went through the whole secondary top to bottom. Cleaned everything up. Looks nice and shiny. Went through the primary real quick. That looks nice and shiny. That VSP clutch cover looks very clean. Big acetone guy when it comes to clutches. Yeah. She looks good. Everything looks in line from where they're supposed to be. I'm gonna pick this thing up a little bit more. Going to, like I said, just, you know, visually inspect, clean in here. I couldn't get in there because the exhaust is there when I gave it a bubble bath the other day. I believe they look good, yeah. They look nice and straight, still all there, all the pieces. And then on our clutch side, so as you can see, I may or may not have gotten my clutch into that belly pan. I would assume that was from when we were jumping, but everything looks pretty decent. Nothing looks like it's broken in half or anything like that, so that's a big plus. I'm just gonna go through, clean it a little bit. Belt dust gets everywhere. So, topped her off with oil, obviously. So, go through that. I'm gonna finish this up tomorrow. Like I said, I'm gonna go through the whole rear skid, just nut and bolt. So whether I was racing cars or racing sleds, I was a big nut and bolt guy. Just go through, touch every bolt, make sure they're still on there, that they didn't come loose for whatever reason. Because that, I mean, when something breaks, it breaks, but it would suck if it breaks because something came loose. Because that's just kind of maintenance error, you know? So when I was racing, that was a big to do. It's just nut and bolt, go through, make sure everything's still tight. So Fox are running good. Again, I talked to Bruce this weekend about my rear skid shocks, you know, rear shock and center shock. We're going to, when I have time, and it's just been crazy because we've been on the go so much, but I'm gonna send them back up to him so he could change the rebound valving in them. I just think they're a little bit too fast right now. But again, once we get this thing up, I'll really check this rear skid out, make sure that thing is still intact. It looks, well, I mean, it looks terrible, but it looks straight still. So that's a big plus. You know, check the rear wheels out, everything like that. But it's gonna do it for tonight, and I'll see you guys tomorrow when I finish this up. All right, Crew Chief Nash, what do we have on the agenda for today, huh, buddy? Why are you so camera shy? I don't get it, huh? What's wrong? Tell the people what we got to do. We just had a whole conversation about it. No? All right, fine. So now that all the clutches and everything are clean, I'm gonna get in here and clean everything out. Let me turn my light on so we can see all, like I said, it's just belt dust. There's nothing you can do about it. It's gonna happen. So I'll get in here with some simple green and a little scrubber. Something like this, and scrub away. And do that same thing on the other side as well. You just get crap in here. I don't even know what you'd call it on this side. Oh yeah, I love it when things are clean. And I didn't go too crazy. I just got that scrub brush in there and kind of went to scrubbing. This side came out really good. It's amazing how much belt dust gets out. So I'm hoping when it's in the video you could see a huge difference, because I could tell a difference being here. But yeah, clutch definitely got into that. That was probably, like I said, from that jumping video. My sister came in here, so then I forgot the video. But for me, not everyone has big wheel kits, obviously, but I went through all these little bolts here. They were a little bit tighter. I believe there's an update now. They have lock nuts that go on the back of them. But those weren't bad. I'm gonna tighten the track a little bit. It is a bit looser than I anticipated. And I'm gonna go through, I'm gonna grease everything. So on these, there's one grease fitting, two grease fitting, and then there's one somewhere else, and I don't remember. Oh, there it is. Right on that scissor way up there. I don't know if I can get it. See it? So, I believe that is it. Other than that, everything looks really good. Nothing out of the ordinary up in there. And while I was cleaning, I was visually inspecting everything as well. And everything, nothing looks broken, best, twisted, bent, snapped. As you guys know, I put this thing through the ringer, so it's good to see that. I did change plugs last weekend, so I don't have to do that. So those are done. Exhaust valves are looking good. Pipe's good. So we're just chomping away, and then eventually we're gonna be putting this thing back together pretty soon. While I was setting track tension, I actually noticed two things. One, for anyone that doesn't know, that goes to check their Hyfax, this is your Hyfax. So it's the plastic piece between your track and the rail. It slides on your rail, it goes all the way up to the front. So there is a line on these, and I'm trying to get it to zoom in here. My GoPro isn't that great at close-up stuff, but you could see a line there. That's a wear line. So even though these are Ice Age rails, your factory Hyfax also have that line. They actually might even have one or two of them, so you could see when they're getting close to being worn out. So if you guys didn't know that, there's a little fun fact for you. Secondly, I was spinning the track as I was setting track tension, and as you guys know, I have a big wheel kit, the entire thing. So I have 9-inch rear wheels, 10-tooth drivers up front, and the whole idea behind it is to get it to roll easier, less rolling resistance, you free up horsepower. So I was spinning the track before, I was like, wow, this thing is really rolling easy. And that's the whole point of it. Like when I first put it together, I was like, this doesn't roll that great. But now that everything's broken in, you know, and loosened up a little bit, the track is, much less stiff, et cetera, it rolls really easy now. And I don't even think I could be able to get it on video, but I could try. So I feel like that is much easier than your standard sled. The other thing I have to do, and this maintenance video is kind of catered to me, because I always change stuff and I'm always bouncing around and stuff like that. I have to change the jam nut for the front springs, because the one stripped out because I didn't have the correct Allen key when I was up north, so I got to switch that around. Other than that, I mean, they're pretty good. I'll get the clutches back on. We'll check belt height, which I know should be good because I did just adjust that recently, or belt deflection as correct terms. And that's pretty much it. And voila, so clutch is back on, belt is on. So, some people wanted me to go over belt deflection, and I have done that in an earlier video, but I'm gonna go over it again. So, the rule that I go by, and again, it's probably not by the book or anything like that, but you see how the belt has, your top ridges? So you have peaks, which are the tops, and valleys, which are the bottoms. So my rule of thumb is I don't know if it's gonna be better with the light on or off, so let me try this. If I can even get in there. So I try and get the valleys to be flush with the outer surface of your secondary. So mine, and it's hard to tell because I can't really get in there that great, but mine are pretty much flush, exactly flush. You know, again, the valleys with the outer rim. Whether that's right or wrong, I don't know. It's worked for me for years. When I raced and everything, that is, you know, what I went by. So that's what I still do to date. So that's it. That's the, you know, majority. To adjust belt deflection, you have this. I've also went over this, but that's your jam nut. And be careful with these. A lot of guys are breaking these. I'm actually gonna go and buy a couple more of these. Your local hardware store can get them. Actually, where's my phone? Corey Root, who is one of the main guys in the Polaris forums, posted what they were. So let me, and I took a picture of it, so let me just go back, hold on. There they are. So, let me see if I can. It's not. It won't zoom, or it won't, not zoom in, I can't think of the word. So they're 1/4 by 20 by 1 1/4 extended point alloy steel hex socket set screw. I know that's a lot, but that's what they are. So if you guys want to go pick up, I'm actually gonna, reminding me, I'm gonna go to the local hardware store when I'm getting done here, and I'm gonna go over there. So that's it. So that's belt deflection. Oh, how to adjust it. So that's your jam nut. That is your adjuster right there. So you got to break the jam nut loose and then adjust this. If you want your belt to come up, you pull that out and that'll close your clutches this way and it'll lift your belt. If you want to adjust it down, obviously you go reverse. Make sure to lock that. Don't go too tight. And that's it. So I'm going to throw this exhaust back in. And we're almost done. This thing will be ready to get thrown back in the truck and head to Lake George. And we are all back together. So that was just a quick little, you know, kind of what I do mid-season stuff. I know our season's super short, so, you know, don't waste too much time on it. You'll get out there and ride, but you obviously also got to, you know, just check it over. Make sure all your wearable products are not worn out already. Also, miles dependent. I mean, you guys did 50 miles, you know it's not going to be you know, worn out, but everything checked out on Bruno. Everything's straight, everything seems in line. I can't really complain. I went probably more in depth than most people will do for mid-season maintenance, but I just I'm a little anal and I just like to have clean things. So give them a bath, go through them, fill up with oil, put some gas in it, and go ride. But again, I mean, I just wanted to kind of touch base on what I do, and that's it. So, Crew Chief Nash is yet again sleeping. So, we're gonna go back home and have some dinner with his mother. So, that's gonna do it for this video. Make sure to like, make sure to subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one.